Hi everyone, I'm Robert Lupo with Lupo Outdoors. Welcome back to Basic Wind for 1 Mile, Class 2. In Class 1, we focused on the language of wind, speed in miles per hour, the direction the wind is coming from, wind value, and the clock system. That gave us a way to talk about the wind clearly. In this class, we're going to start seeing the wind. We'll break the range into simple near, mid, and far zones. Learn how to read grass, trees, flags, dust, and water. And then start using Mirage to see what the air is doing downrange. By the end of class 2, you'll be able to look downrange and build a real picture of the wind instead of just guessing based on what you feel at the gun. Let's jump in. Welcome to Class 2 of Basic Wind for 1 Mile. In Class 1, we learned how to talk about wind, speed, direction, value, and the clock system. In this class, we're going to start seeing the wind. First, we'll break the range into near, mid, and far zones so you're not overwhelmed by the whole picture. Second, we'll look at the easy value clues: grass, bushes, trees, flags, dust, and water that show you what the wind is doing in each zone. Third, we'll cover the basics of Mirage, what it is, how to focus on it, and how it can help you call the wind. By the end of this class, you'll be able to look downrange and pick out the most important parts of the wind instead of just guessing. The bullet is not flying through one single wind the whole way. It's passing through different layers and pockets of air. Sometimes the wind at your muzzle is calm, but halfway to the target, it's rippling. Other times, the wind might be light along most of the path, but strong and weird next to the target. To make this easier on your brain, we divide the range into 3 simple zones: near, mid, and far. That way you can reach each zone and decide which one matters most for your shot. The near zone runs from your position out to roughly the first third of the distance of the target. This is the wind you can feel on your face and read with the hand meter. You usually have the best information about this zone. Near zone wind matters a lot for short to medium distances. On very long shots, it still matters, but sometimes the mid and far have more influence because the bullet spends more time there. The mid zone is the middle third of the distance. For long range and 1 mile shooting, this is where the bullet spends a lot of its time in the air. The challenge is you usually can't feel the wind on your face. You have to read using visual clues: trees, dust, crops, terrain, and mirage. A lot of the long distance shots, this mid zone can be the stronger or from a different direction than you feel at the time of fire. The far zone is the last third of the distance, near the target itself. By the time your bullet reaches this zone, it has slowed down. Slower bullets are easier for the wind to push. That means small changes in wind near the target can move your impact a surprising amount. When we're making a final wind call, we usually give a lot of weight to what the wind is doing in the far zone. We're going to point out the shooter on the far left and on the far right. The first color section is the near zone, where you can feel the wind and read it with a meter. The middle selection is the mid zone, often harder to read and where the mirage and terrain clues become important. The last section is the far zone, where the bullet is slowest and even small changes in wind can shift your impact. We're going to train your eyes to scan these zones instead of staring only at the target. All 3 zones matter. but they don't always matter equally. On a very long shot, especially around 1,000 yards and a mile, the mid and far zones often have the biggest impact on your hit. But never ignore the near zone. A strong gust of wind at the muzzle can still move you a lot. The goal is not to obsess over one spot, it's to build a picture of all three zones and then make a smart call. Now, we'll turn the range into a giant wind meter. We'll look how grass, bushes, trees, crops, flags, smoke, dust, and rain and water can tell you what the wind is doing in each zone. This is how you move from guessing to actually reading the environment. Grass and bushes. Light flicker might be 3 to 5 miles per hour. Grass laying over means stronger wind. Flags and banner. Just lifting off the pole suggests a light breeze. Stretching out and snapping suggests a stronger wind. Dust and water. Dust blowing across the ground and ripples of water can reveal wind directions and give hints about speed in that zone. Use a wind meter if you can to actually read the wind on these results to train yourself on wind speed by visual reference. Flags are one of the easiest visual wind indicators. If a flag hangs straight down, the wind is very light. When it starts to lift and flutter, you're probably at 3 to 6 miles per hour. When it's stretched out and snapping, you're looking at stronger winds, often 12 miles per hour and higher. A high flag may show wind that your bullet sees even if it feels calm at the ground level. Wind near the ground is slowed by friction and obstacles. Higher up, it can be stronger and sometimes from a different direction. A tall tree or flag may be showing the wind your bullet sees even when the grass looks calm. Compare high objects and low objects. If they disagree, think about which one matches your bullet path. Not every wind cue is honest. If you're tucked behind a brim or under a roof, it may feel calm at your position while the wind is rippling in the open middle of the range. Gullies, tree lines, and berms can bend or block wind, creating strange pockets. Always cross-check. Does what I feel at the gun match what I see in the grass, trees, flags, and dust along the bullet path? If not, trust the cues where the bullet actually flies. Mirage is that shimmering, wavy look you see above the ground on hot days, especially through the optics. It happens because light bends through layers in the air at different temperatures. Warm air rises, and that rising motion makes the image look like it's boiling or leading. The good news, Mirage can show you what the wind is doing downrange, even where there are no flags or trees. Most shooters focus the target until it's razor sharp. For Mirage, back off the focus so the target softens and the shimmer in front of it becomes sharp. Turn your parallax or focus knob slowly until the waves of the air pop into focus. That is the layer you're reading. You can shift this closer or farther along the bullet path by adjusting the focus. When Mirage rises straight up, what shooters call boiling, there is little or no crosswind in that layer. When Mirage leans to one side, that means the rising warm air is being pushed sideways by the wind. The direction it leans shows you which way the wind is blowing. How sharply it leans gives clues about strength. Start simple. Notice whether the Mirage is straight up, gently leaning, or strongly leaning. Mirage is powerful, but it's not perfect. In very strong wind, Mirage can get flattened and appear weak even though the wind is rippling. On cool or overcast days, there may simply be not much mirage at all. Watch out for mirage coming off the hot barrel or suppressor. If the shimmering is only right in front of your scope, move to a spotting scope off to the side or let the rifle cool so you can see the real air downrange. Drill. Next time you're on the range, pick a single target and mentally divide the path into near, mid, and far zones. Spend 30 to 60 seconds watching each zone. Look at grass, trees, flags, dust, water, and mirage. Then say out loud, near zone, about 5 miles per hour at 3 o'clock. Mid zone, maybe 8 to 10 from 3. Far zone, looks like 6 from 2. Only after you've called each zone do you shoot. This trains you to build a wind picture before every shot instead of reacting after the miss. All right, let's wrap up class 2. First, remember that your bullet doesn't see one single wind. It flies through 3 zones, near, mid, and far. The near zone is what you feel on your face, read with your meter. The mid and far zones might be very different, and on long shots, they often matter just as much or more than when you feel at the gun. To read these zones, use the visual clues: grass, bushes, trees, flags, dust, water, and anything that's moving in the wind along the path. We also started using Mirage. When you focus your scope in front of the target, you can see shimmering in the air. Boiling mirage means little crosswind. Leaning mirage shows both direction and strength of the wind aloft. Your homework is a spot and call drill. Pick a target, divide the path into near, mid, and far, and call the wind in each zone loud before you shoot. In class 3, we'll take this a step further and start turning these zone reads into actual wind holds on the rifle. So hit subscribe. You can grab the workbook pages very soon, and we'll see you in the next class.